Hey, it's Pastor Kevin. It is so good to see you today, and I cannot wait to see you at our grand opening service of our first permanent location for Connect Us Church on October 6th. Services at 9 o'clock and 10:45 a.m. That's 732 West Main Street in Mount Joy, PA. We'd love to see you there. And if you join us online, Sunday's going to be an incredible day. We are going to stream that service, both those services like we always do, and it's going to be awesome. You'll get to feel like you're in the building. And we're just so grateful that you are a part of this ministry, that you are a part of this church. And today at the movie theater, as we celebrate the last Sunday at the movie theater, it is impossible to capture what happens in the room on a live stream. And so we just aren't even trying. And so I'm sorry about that. You got to come and hear all the testimonies and all the stories. And if you are watching this at 9 o'clock in the morning, you've still got time to get to the 10:30 a.m. service. But we are so grateful for all the things that God has done. Just amazed at what he's done, the people that he has brought connected to our church, the people we've been able to minister to, the life transformation that we've seen in people over the last 3.5, almost 4 years is just remarkable. And so before we sign off today, I just have a little message for you. I have some old videos I'd like to show, and I think we're just going to finish this, and then I'll just run those videos and call it a day. But we are so grateful that you are a part of this church. And today is all about celebrating the stories of what God has done over the last 3.5, almost 4 years. And so if you haven't shared your story yet with us, today is a perfect time to do that. You can send an email to info@connectuschurch.org. That's a great way to get that story out there. And you could also text our phone number, 717-742-5535. And we will just rejoice with you and make sure to get back in touch with you. We think it's important that you share what God's been doing, and it just encourages not only you, but it encourages us to hear those stories as well. So that's what we're doing today. And again, online, sorry you can't be in the room this morning. You're actually in one of the first places that I've ever recorded videos, and it's actually in the laundry room of my home. So welcome to the laundry room of my home. And I'm not going to show you the rest of the room. And it's just, it's a mess. Don't tell anybody. But that's where we are at this moment. So again, today we are celebrating 3.5, almost 4 years of Connect Us Church meeting at the Real Cinemas movie theater. And we are so grateful for the staff and the team at Real Cinemas, the way that they've been such a blessing to us. They've worked with us in so many ways, just allowed us to have church there in just an awesome, way, set up and tear down, super flexible. So thank you to that staff and all the people that made that happen. Lots of people made it on the church side, of course, but sometimes we forget about the people at the movie theater side that really help in so many different ways and make it possible for us to be there. I just remember waiting for the phone call or something to hear back from the movie theater, and finally we got into the movie theater, and it was not easy and took a lot of waiting, and it was during the COVID season, so we never even knew if the movie theaters were going to open back up. And so, God had a plan, and God worked it out. And it's just amazing to look back at his faithfulness and see how he used the yes of the owners and the managers of the movie theater, and how God orchestrated all of that to allow us to launch Connect Us Church there and see so many people lives touched, and just changed by Jesus. It's just amazing. So why a movie theater? You ever thought about that? Maybe you thought it was a little strange, and I've heard some stories over the last couple days about how, the movie theater was definitely a strange thing, and why the movie theater? And why a new church? You ever asked that question again too? Like, why do we start new churches? What's the deal with that? Why for me personally? Why I could have done anything? Why a church? I think as a follower of Jesus, one of the things that I came about when I was feeling called to ministry and began doing ministry and was going through seminary was just Jesus' promise to build his church. Matthew 16:18 through 19. Now I say to you that you are Peter, which means rock. And upon this rock I will build my church, and all the powers of hell will not conquer it. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom, and whatever you forbid on earth will be forbidden in heaven, and whatever you permit on earth will be permitted in heaven. There's something special about the church. There's something unique that God is doing, that he chose this entity, this organism, this organization, this beautiful thing that he created, this ecclesia, to be his primary focus on this planet. And to be a part of that is amazing. To be a part of that for all of us is amazing. It's not just the pastor or the church planter, but every believer has a role, a significant role to play in the church. And God is using us to build it. And it's just a blessing to be a part of it. And so, man, if that's what God's doing, I want all of it. I want to experience everything that God wants us to experience in this season when it comes to starting a church and building up the church, and in both quality and quantity. That's how God builds his church. The second thing that's important when it comes to church planting is that Jesus gave his followers a simple command, and that is to simply, what we call the Great Commission, he commanded his disciples to multiply more disciples. And the result of doing that, the result of obeying the Great Commission, is that churches are multiplied. And so I just believe that, I want to continue to see this happen. I want to continue to be a part of it and make it happen. Matthew 28:19 through 20. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I've given you, and be sure of this, I'm with you always, even to the end of the age. The church is designed for one thing, one mission, one purpose. It's to make disciples. You take somebody who's not a disciple, who is not a follower of Jesus, they're far from God, they're spiritually disconnected, and you see them cross the line of faith. You see them, you help them become a believer, become a follower of Jesus. You've made a disciple. Great. But a disciple is somebody not just who crosses that line of faith, but a disciple is somebody who makes disciples. So those people that were far from God, that were spiritually disconnected, now they've come to faith in Jesus. Now they're following Jesus. Now we teach them to obey all the things that which Jesus commanded, including this command. It's a self-replicating command. And so now we go out and make more disciples. But we got to be strong in our faith. We got to grow in our faith. We got to use our gifts and abilities. And we got to be a part of this beautiful community that attracts people, that sends out people to go and do what Jesus called us to do, which is go and reach the people who are not yet disciples, and to bring them in, to help them believe, to baptize them, and then to train them up and send them out to do it some more. And so being a part of that when evangelism happens, when discipleship happens, the result is churches are started and churches are multiplied. And that's what we are a part of. And it's just been so amazing to do that. You might think, man, another church in our area? There's so many churches in our area. Really? Another church? And, when you look at the statistics in our nation, I came across these in the church planting class that I took in seminary. But in 1900s, there were 28 churches for every 10,000 Americans. And then from there, it just, the numbers get worse. 1950, there were 17 churches for every 10,000 Americans. In 2000, there were 12 churches for every 10,000 Americans. In 2004, there were 11 churches for every 10,000 Americans. And we need some updated statistics. But you can just imagine that the population growth of this country and the world, obviously, but this country has just skyrocketed exponentially. But the number of churches, has it skyrocketed exponentially? I don't think so. Not only are more churches getting started, sure, but probably not at the rate that needs to be to keep up with population growth. And that doesn't even include the number of churches that are closed or closing. So, there's a lot of work to do. And one of my favorite little things that I learned in that church planting class years ago was that the fruit of an apple tree is not an apple. I mean, it's great. The apple tastes good. I like a good apple. I don't know about you. But the fruit of an apple tree is not an apple. The true fruit, the true result, the true thing that an apple tree produces is not apples. It's what the apple produces. The apple's a seed. The fruit of an apple tree is another apple tree. And that's what it means to be a Christian. That's what it means to be a church. That's what it means to be a follower of Jesus, a disciple of Jesus, a disciple maker. Is that it's not just about you being the best apple you can be. Oh, look what God's done in my life. Oh, look at how I've grown in my faith and how I've following Jesus and I'm obeying everything that He's commanded me to do. Oh, yeah, really? Great. Where's your apple tree? Where's the orchard that you've planted? That's what I want to be a part of. That's what I want to see for every single one of us who call ourselves followers of Jesus. That we can be a part of producing orchards of churches and orchards of Christians. It's not just about the fruit and tasting good and smelling good and looking good, but it's about that reproduction of multiplying more and more and more of these beautiful things that produce much, much fruit and many more trees. And that's what we're a part of. That's what we started almost 4 years ago. And now we're moving into our first permanent location that we are calling our home base for Connect Us Church. And it's not where we're going to stay forever. It's not a forever home. It is a home base. And that's where we take off and everything starts. And it's just going to be awesome to be able to have a permanent place that we get to call home. And so I want you to be a part of it. I hope that you continue to be a part of it. And it's exciting and awesome to hear the stories. And today, if you're watching online and you weren't able to make it in person, I'm sorry. You're going to have to come and meet some of these awesome people that God's connected with us over the last several years. Like one of them wrote, I was in a dark place, not believing that there was a God anymore. I found this church and I started to attend, and after the first time hearing a sermon, I felt Jesus was talking to me, telling me that He was here and wanted to teach me and bring me back into His arms. And now I know He's here and is always watching over me. I look forward to Sundays now and to hear the Lord and the Word and all the friends I've connected with through this church. I mean, that's amazing. That's humbling that God would use me, that God would use the vision that He planted in my heart years ago to connect with somebody in that way. Just incredible. And there's so many more that we are sharing today. So before we sign off today, again, thank you so much for being a part of what God is doing and has done in and through Connect Us Church. I'd love to connect with you more personally. Send an email today, send a text message. We'd love to see you on October 6th for our grand opening service. And before you close this down, check out some of the old time videos. That just a great walk down memory lane of starting the church in the community center, COVID hitting. We were in our house for a number of months, finally got to go in the movie theater. Just some really neat things have happened over the years. And so I can't wait to see what God has in store in the future. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you again soon. Welcome to Connect Us
church. My name is Kevin. I'm the lead pastor, church planter of Connect Us Church, and this is my family. My beautiful wife, Alicia.
Hi, everybody.
My little daughter, Kinsley. Wait, can you wave, Kinsley? And my little baby on the way. We are planting a new church in Lancaster, Pennsylvania that will connect you to God's next step for your life. You can think about it this way. Maybe you or someone you know is far from God. There will be a group of people that will want to get to know you and help you find saving faith in Jesus Christ. But maybe you've been a Christian for a little while now, and we believe God has something more for you. We believe that everyone has a next step to take to grow in their relationship with God. We will help you discover your spiritual gifts and get you plugged into opportunities to use those gifts wherever God is leading you. We will help you develop your leadership abilities so that we can send you out to do whatever it is God is calling you to do. And we will accomplish this mission by valuing authentic relationships and genuinely enjoying our time together. We will be generous in all aspects and multiply disciples because we believe that church is more than just showing up somewhere on a Sunday morning, but it's about sending you out to do whatever it is God is calling you to do. And so we will be a church that is biblically faithful and culturally relevant. Our friends, our family, and our world needs the Bible, needs Jesus, and the good news of the gospel. And so join us on January 12th for our first Vision Night and dream with us about how we can best connect you and all the yous we will meet to God's next step for your life. Jesus wants to eat with you, no matter who you are or what you have done. No matter what you believe, no matter what you do, no matter what you think, no matter how bad your reputation is, no matter what names people call you, Jesus wants to eat with you. He wants to spend time with you. He wants to get to know you. He wants to love you. And he wants to call you to follow him.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. For challenge number 4, grab a regular sized balloon and breathe in with a maybe larger than regular sized breath and blow it up as fast as you can and blow it up and blow it up and blow it up until it pops. The person that can make it pop in the quickest amount of time wins a prize. The top 3 times win a prize. Upload your video to Connect Us Church Family Facebook page or send it as an email to info@connectuschurch.org. Blow it up.
Has anyone ever seen Toy Story 4? I'm not a big movie person. I haven't watched a lot of movies, and yes, I know we're sitting in a movie theater right now, so it's kind of ironic, but it's true. I recently watched Toy Story 4, and I met a character for the very first time. And immediately, when I saw this character, I knew I had a sermon illustration. I should watch more movies. I have more ideas, but I knew it was going to come. I didn't know it was going to happen this fast. It was just a couple weeks ago. And in Toy Story 4, we meet a character. Her name was Bonnie. And Bonnie was her first day of kindergarten. And so Woody, the famous toy, sneaks into Bonnie's backpack because Woody's going to make sure she has a great day at kindergarten. And so Bonnie sits at her desk, and they're doing some craft, and some big kid comes up and steals all her stuff. And she starts crying, and life is miserable. And so Woody springs into action. He sneaks out of the backpack, and he runs over to what he could find as the trash can and dumps it on Bonnie's desk. And Bonnie sees what's in front of her, and she picks it up, and she begins to make something. She puts the eyes on and the mouth. She's using whatever she can find in the trash can. She puts the popsicle sticks on her feet, and what she makes, she calls Forky. Everybody say hi to Forky. Hi, Forky. Forky had a problem. He would always, at every opportunity, find a way into the trash can. And Woody would have to spring into action, and he would come into the trash can and pull him out of the trash can. And again, into the trash can, out of the trash can, into the trash can, out of the trash can, slowly making his way. Every opportunity he had, every free chance, he would just slowly into the trash can. Woody saves them, all the toys spring into action, save them, into the trash can, out of the trash can, into the trash can, out of the trash can. It felt like the whole movie, or at least half the movie, was Forky going into the trash can and coming out of the trash can. And so finally, Woody said, "Forky, why on earth do you keep going to the trash can?" And what we learned was that this was Forky's identity. He was trash, and trash went in the trash can. And in Forky's own words, the trash was warm, cozy, and safe. And so Forky went in the trash can. But Bonnie, who created Forky, saw Forky very, very differently. And Forky had a decision to make. Was he going to live into the identity that he was trash? Or was he going to live in the identity that he was created by somebody that loved him, that cherished him, and that even wrote her special imprint on the bottom of his popsicle stick feet? Forky had a choice to make that every single one of us has to make every single day. Maybe every moment of every day. What is your identity and where does it come from? Are you trash? Or does your Creator have something so much better for you?
In case I don't see you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah?